The following is a presentation of 912 Sports. Welcome to On Air with 912 Sports, your number one source for high school sports. With Sean Smoke, Kevin Price, and Robbie Ross. On Air with 912 Sports is brought to you by Coastal Pines Technical College. Go Coastal. Prime South Bank. Find your prime. Robbie Robertson Ford, because Fords are cheaper in the swamp. Gibson Animal Clinic, practical solutions with limited fees. Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, the region's best orthopedic care. And Kim Smoke, licensed realtor with Crossway Realty.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Time again for the Ross Report. I'm Robbie Ross for 912 Sports. Last week, big week in high school football. Game of the week was Statesboro and Wayne County. Wayne County getting that one 28-7. Appling County over Moorhaven out of Florida 35-17. Clinch County defeating Bacon County 55-13. It was Brunswick all over Islands. They continue their hot start. They win 49-0, getting ready for the city championship against Glenn Academy this weekend. Camden County over Somerset Academy out of Florida, 48-21. It was Pierce County over Charlton County, 48-13. Coffee defeats Salem, 65-0. John Millage Academy wins their 40th game in a row by defeating Frederica Academy 63-13. Calvary Day, slow start in the first half. Finished off Liberty in the second half, 48-27. It was Long County winning over Grove, 62-6. McIntosh County Academy over Lanier County, 18-10. Richmond Hill scored 10 points in the last 18 seconds of the game to force overtime and then win it on a 2-point conversion in overtime over New Hampstead, 28-27. A 48-yard field goal by Blake Williams tied it after the Wildcats got an onside kick after scoring a touchdown with 18 seconds to go. So exciting win for Coach Matt Lazat and Richmond Hill Wildcats as they travel to Coffee this week. And finally, it was Toombs County over Troutland, 43-0. That's the Ross Report on 912 Sports.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
Hello, everybody. I'm Kevin Price for On Air with 912 Sports. This past Friday night, I was out at Glenn County Stadium in the press box for Brunswick High School's homecoming game against Islands High School out of the Savannah area, and it was really the perfect homecoming game for Brunswick. It's just the way you would draw it up. The Pirates rolled to a 49-0 victory between the Bricks over the Sharks. It was a game that was shortened to a running clock in the second half due to the 30-point mercy rule. Brunswick led that game 35-0 at intermission, tacked on a score in the third quarter and another score in the fourth quarter while playing a lot of folks with that clock running the whole time. But Brunswick, the real story, one of the stories anyway, was the play of its defense, which has been stellar all season long. The numbers are staggering when they were all added up. Brunswick held the Sharks to 0 rushing yards in the first half, -9 for the game. The Sharks did manage 19 yards passing, so when you add it all up in the end, Islands only finished with 10 total net yards for the ball game against that BHS defense, which continues to play well. Posted a shutout. Brunswick came into the game allowing 8.67 points a game. That was the third best mark in Class 6A. Of course, that only got lower with that shutout victory on Friday night. The Pirates also pretty efficient offensively, scored on 5 of their first half possessions, fumbled early in the ball game to deny themselves a scoring chance, and then punted one time late in the first half as well. But again, scored on 5 of their first 7 possessions in the ball game to open up that 35-0 lead. 3 scoring touchdowns via the pass in the first half, and also 2 on the run. Those were both by Jaden Drayton. All 3 pass catches for touchdowns were by Terry Mitchell. They call him Touchdown Terry, and that name was fitting in this game as well. His 3 catches added up to 123 total yards. Again, all for touchdowns, one of 36 yards, one of 43 yards, and one of 44 yards. J.R. Elkins, real efficient when he was in the ball game, did not play the second half. 4 of 6 through the air for 118 yards, 3 touchdowns. Kevin Thomas, a receiver, also threw a touchdown. One of those was to Terry Mitchell. A sophomore, Jamarius Towns, came off the bench to lead the Pirates in rushing, just 6 carries, but for 88 yards. He also scored the Brunswick touchdown in the third quarter. Another kid, a young sophomore, the Cohen kid, scored a touchdown in the fourth quarter for the Pirates, getting some time in the second half. But again, Brunswick spread that ball around to most of its skilled people, and all of them did something positive with the football. But again, a great night for the Pirates. They go to 4-0 on the season with that victory. And, of course, now they get ready to defend their Region 2 6A championship. That starts Friday night with the game against Glenn Academy, as both the Pirates and the Red Terrors open up region play. But, of course, that one's also for the city championship. Brunswick won the last 2 after getting beat for all those years by Coach Rocky Hidalgo and the Red Terrors. We'll see what happens here in 2022. That's coming up tomorrow night between the Bricks of Glenn County Stadium as the 2 rivals get together and renew their annual tradition on the gridiron. I'll be there, Lord willing. We'll have a report on that game next week. So for On Air with 912 Sports, I'm Kevin Price.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, Secure pay apps and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Welcome, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Sean Spoke, publisher of 912 Sports, joined as always by head writer and podcast host Kevin Price. Kevin, it's a great day here in beautiful Glenn County Stadium to talk about football.
It sure is, Sean, and it's great to be with you, and I literally mean be with you. We're with each other during this segment every week on the show, but that's through modern technology. You're in your home locale, I'm in mine. Of course, I'm still basically in my home base here in Glenn County. You had to drive a little farther to do this segment than I did, but we are out here at Glenn County Stadium, the new turf behind us, the big scoreboard back there as well. We're here in the athletic center, which is just a couple of years old, but Sean, kind of quiet out here right now, even though Glenn Academy's getting in some special teams practice behind us. But as you know, both sides of the field should be full Friday night with blue and gold, red and white. Should be one heck of an atmosphere out here, as it always is.
Yeah, so we're 912 Sports game of the week. It's the city championship here between Glenn and Brunswick. Always a great game every year. And Kevin, you know, we talked about this on paper. This really shouldn't be much of a contest. When you look at everything, Brunswick's coming in this game 4-0. They're dominant. They got D1 guys all over the field. Poor little Glenn Academy's over here struggling, 2-2, and ain't got a Chinaman's chance. And you know what? But trust me, when these two teams tie up, it's always going to be close. Brunswick's going to get Glenn's best shot. You look at both the last 2 years in a row. It's come down to the last last series of the game. So it's going to be another barn burner come Friday night.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Brunswick, rolling right along, 4-0, undefeated on the season. Glenn 2-2, and have had some struggles. Lost that game in the Border Classic that they should have won. Lost that one 21-20. But Sean, when you look on paper, the last couple of years, Brunswick probably had a far superior team, particularly last year, and both those games were close. And as we sit here and talk, we had the miracle between the bricks 2 years ago. Brunswick won on that tip pass, scored in this end zone right behind us. And then last year, that game is 17-14. Brunswick kicks the game-winning field goal in overtime, and that was in this end zone as well, Sean.
Right.
So maybe come Friday night, something dramatic will happen in this end zone as well. But Sean, it looks like a mismatch on paper. It looks like a game Brunswick should win big, but that's just it. And I always talk about this game kind of starting with the emotions and how both sides control those emotions and settle into the ball game. And I think that's key again. But to take that a step further, Brunswick's going to hear probably this year, maybe even more so than last year, how good they are.
Oh, yeah.
And how maybe badly they should beat Glenn in this game. And it's up to Brunswick not to buy into that, not to read their own headlines, if
Don't
you
eat
will.
the rat poison.
Right, and come out and take care of business. Now, to Brunswick's credit, they've done that so far. They've been focused on each task at hand, and I don't think they'll do that, Sean. I'll be surprised if they do that. Glenn, on the other hand, is also going to hear about how good Brunswick is, and maybe even some people on their own side are going to say, you guys might be in for it on Friday night. So they've got to block all that out and use that as fuel to the fire and come out and show everybody what they're made of and try to play Brunswick off their feet once again.
Yeah. Well, listen, Rocky Hidalgo will have this team ready come Friday night. I look for a game, Kevin, it'll probably go down to the last series just like the last 2 years, and it should be a good one right here between the bricks on Friday night. So, hey, if you're looking for a great high school football game to come see, this is where one's going to happen. So come on out and check it out. But we'll move on to the rest of the games that we're going to preview here. Appleton County is going to be open. Got a big contest in 2 weeks, Kevin, coming up against Pierce County. Bacon is open this week. Then we've got Bradwell going over to MCA. Got a big 5A school going over to little single A MCA, but trust me, I'm sure the Buccaneers will give Bradwell all they want. And then we've got our first region game in Region 2, in Class 2, both Brantley and Pierce moving down from AAA to AA. They're going to start the season. This is Pierce's homecoming game, so Brantley's got to go over there and face Pierce in Bearville on a homecoming game. Brantley coming into this game, Kevin, 3-1 on the season. Got some good victories under the belt. Of course, Pierce is undefeated. Going to be a tall task for Brantley, but a much improved Brantley County Heron team this year.
Yeah, for sure. And I really thought Brantley would be 4-0 going into this game. I thought they would win their last one. They have had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. You would think that is some sort of advantage, whether it's just getting rest up and getting healed up or actually getting 2 weeks to concentrate on Pierce. But we know, Sean, that we've talked about it for a couple of weeks here now. Pierce came out of the gate really strong, and they have not slowed down just yet. This is going to be a big ball game for them, homecoming night and all that, a region contest as well. So it's important from that standpoint. This is much like the Glenn-Brunswick game that we just talked about. But most people are going to say Brantley has no chance, but they're like Glenn. They've got to come in and, maybe steal a possession or two, maybe shorten the game, see if they can get some turnovers, maybe win special teams, those kinds of things, and see if they can, hang in there to the fourth quarter and find a way to win it. But on paper, it looks like Pierce is the far superior team, and we'll see what happens.
Hey, they're not ranked number 2 in Double A for
That's
nothing,
right.
so it's a quality football team. Camden's going to continue their Florida tour as another Florida team comes into Camden County. Atlantic Coast, Florida is going to come in and play Camden this Friday night. Charlton is open. Charlton probably needs a week off after that dismantling by Pierce last week. Got a GASA school going to be playing a GIAA school, as Clinch is going to head over to Frederica over on the island. So that's going to be an interesting matchup there. Clinch coming off a big victory this past Friday night. Frederica coming off a thumping by John Millage there. So they got
really good John Millage team.
They got to really get their lick their wounds and get ready to get back in action there. And then we've got a big one, Kevin, going to be going on over in Douglas, as Richmond Hill, big 7A school, going to be going in to take on Coffee County. Coffee County is a 5A school. Richmond Hill coming off a squeaker this past Friday night, beating New Hampstead by a single point. Coffee coming off a big victory. I think it was 63-65 nothing over Salem. So that's going to be a good one over there in Douglas Friday night.
Yeah, I like this matchup. If it weren't for Glenn and Brunswick, this very well maybe could be the game of the week. It's a good one on paper, a good X's and O's matchup, a good chess match maybe between the teams. I think it's going to be real physical, a knockdown, drag-out fight. I saw both of these teams on this field a couple of weeks ago in the Border Classic, and Coffee, even though they've got a new coach, it's really a typical Coffee team. Big, fast, strong, physical, really, really good on defense. They're going to specialize in the run game. The McDuffie kid, who was our player of the week this past week for his game in the Border Classic on this field, is going to get a chance to run that rock again, and he'll be their main guy in their offense. But I tell you what, Richmond Hill was much improved. I've seen them twice actually on this field. They scrimmaged against Glenn, and then in that Border Classic, I thought they were much improved between the scrimmage and that game. And I know they were in a dogfight the other night with New Hampstead, but every game they play, Ty Goldrick's going to have to throw the ball well. He did that Friday night. I think he was 21 of 28 for 195 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Grant kid is a big-time receiver for them. Had 13 catches the other night for 125 yards. And the Gillard kid is their main ball carrier, 26 carries for 122 yards. And they pulled that one out in overtime, Sean. It was 8-7 in overtime. So I guess Richmond Hill scored on the 2-point conversion to win it. But I like the chess match in this game, a physical game between Richmond Hill and Coffee.
Yeah, two quality teams, two great running backs going to be on the field there with the McDuffie kid and the Gillard kid there. It's going to be fun to watch there over in Douglas. Hey, but let's take a quick break. We'll pay some bills and thank some sponsors, and we'll come right back here for part 2 of the preview for the games of week 923 here on 912sports.net.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Call on us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal.
Welcome back, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Sean Spoke, joined by Kevin Price. And Kevin, we're going to continue our previews here for the games on 9/23/22. And right now we've got South Effingham at Effingham. Kevin, any other week, this would probably be our game of the week here. You got a little crosstown rivalry going on up there, with Coach Ford and Coach Nate Clark. Those guys are going to get after it there this Friday night. This one, Kevin's kind of a coin toss. Of course, Coach Clark and them struggled last year going 0-10 or whatever it was. They may have gotten one game. I can't remember, but they're playing a little bit better this year. They already got a couple of victories under their belt. Effingham's playing pretty good after losing that opening game of the season. They've come back and, put a couple of W's on the board there. So this could be a good one over there. And I guess this game is going to be in Springfield because it looks like it's in Effingham.
Yeah, South Effingham 2-1. The only game they lost was their opener against a decent Vidalia team, 21-14. And of course, Effingham coming in 2-2. They won their last couple. Here in recent weeks, and early they weren't scoring. They weren't getting much offense, and they seem to have corrected that. Scored 32 against Statesboro, and also I think 42 a couple of weeks ago against Southeast Bullock. Both of these teams were off last week, so they both have had 2 weeks to prepare. Much like the Glen Brunswick game, a rivalry game. I think Effingham did win it last year, and actually might have won I think the last 2 years. And South Effingham, has not scored in this game in the last 2 years. So that's number one for South Effingham to get on the scoreboard.
Exactly. Put some points on the board.
And they haven't been giving up much points, Sean. I think actually they were leading Class 6A in points allowed, now haven't exactly played offensive juggernaut.
Right.
So I think we'll know more about the South Effingham defense after this game, but we also might see if Effingham has corrected their offensive problems, if South Effingham's defense is as decent as it does seem to maybe be on paper. So a good matchup right here. Both of these teams in a rivalry game kicking off region play, just like Brunswick and Glen in a rivalry game doing the same thing.
Yeah, these are ones that count here, folks. These ones determine whether you're going to make the playoffs, where your seeding is going to be. So these are definitely ones that you got circled on your calendar. But we'll move right along. We've got Cook going to travel over to Jeff Davis. Jeff Davis still winless on the season. Kevin, I don't look for him to get a win here Friday night. Cook is a very, very good football team. Coach Flatt over there, former Camden County coach, is doing a great job there with the Hornets. So look for Cook to win there at Jeff Davis. Liberty at Johnson and Savannah. Liberty took a beating last week. See if they can come back and get a win here as they go up against Johnson. They should be able to notch one in the W column. And then we've got Savannah Country Day going into Long County. This is a region opener, or not a region opener, because we already said that actually Long is 1-0, but this is a region game for the Long County Blue Tide, and we'll see if Coach Mike Feaster and them can go 2-0 in the region there. But got some stiff competition coming in there with Savannah Country Day.
Yeah, Long 3-1 on the season. I think I saw Coach Feaster tweet out over the weekend that was their first 3-game win streak since George W. Bush was the president.
Been a minute.
So been a little bit. That was a 62-6 victory over Groves on Friday night. Savannah Country Day 2-2. Long now in the region with a lot of these Savannah schools, after the reclassification last year, but chance to get win number 4 in a row, and I like Long's chances, particularly being at home.
Yeah, so see if the Blue Tide can keep that thing rolling. Listen, the most wins this team's ever had is 5 in a season. I look for them to break that this year and make it back to the playoffs. New Hampstead, after that heartbreaking loss to Richmond Hill, is going to be open this week. Burke County travels over to Statesboro. Kevin, I still don't understand what's going on in Statesboro. Wayne County was able to get a victory there this past Friday night, or at home was able to beat Statesboro. Statesboro, I believe, is still winless on the year. These guys have got dudes, so I'm not real sure what's going on over there, but they've got to try to right the ship and get a win this Friday night against Burke County. Tattnall's going to play Toombs. I thought Tattnall had a shot to be pretty strong in this region, but Tattnall's been struggling. Don't have a lot of wins on the year. Toombs have, I think they're 3-1 or 2-1 on the season. So we'll see if Coach Richie Marsh, the Bulldogs over there, can get a win. Windsor Forest is going to take on Vidalia. I don't think that's going to be much of a game there for Vidalia. I think they're going to roll right along. And then we've got Bainbridge coming into Ware County. Ware County sitting there number 2 in 5A, rolling right along, undefeated on the season. Bainbridge drops another one, Kevin, this past Friday night to Brooks, which Brooks we know is a good quality football team. But then again, you got a single A team beating a 4A team, and Bainbridge is a team that, look to compete for that 4A title. So not real sure what's going on at Bainbridge, if they got some guys hurt or if they're at full strength or exactly what. But listen, their job's not going to get any easier this Friday night coming into Ware County.
Yeah, Bainbridge 2-3, and I tell you, I don't know if I put a classification on a team like Brooks. I mean,
that's true.
Other than some of those universities in Atlanta, I think they can maybe play with just about everybody. But listen to this schedule that Bainbridge has already played, Sean.
That's true.
Lost to Cedar Grove. Cedar Grove, a
number
perennial
one in
power.
3A.
Yep. They did beat Coffee County 24-21. So if somebody wants to compare scores going into that Coffee Ware game coming up, this will be one that they certainly can. But lost to Thomas County Central. If you look at the 6A rankings, Thomas County Central undefeated and ranked.
Exactly.
Also did beat Thomasville, but Thomasville a good, strong football team. And then you mentioned losing to Brooks. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Bainbridge's not afraid to play anybody, and here they are coming into the swamp to play Ware, and yet another tough non-region game for them. But obviously an attractive matchup for Ware County on paper. Chance to test themselves again before they go into region play.
And I'll tell you how much people think about Bainbridge right now. They're 2-3, Kevin. They're still ranked in the top 10 in 4A because they know what kind of schedule this team has played. So again, they're not afraid to play anybody. So Ware's going to have to play a good game there Friday night to get a victory, but it should be a good one there in the swamp between these two teams. And then we got Wayne going to travel over to Jenkins. Wayne a 4A school, Jenkins a 5A school. Wayne coming off that big victory over Statesboro this past Friday night. Jenkins, I think, struggling. I don't know if they've been able to put a win on the board yet this year, but we'll see if the Wayne train keeps rolling.
And Sean, just a note on that, and I got it from Bob Morgan, their radio voice, so I'm assuming it's accurate, but I do believe Wayne County has lost their young quarterback to an ACL injury, so that will keep him out for the rest of the year. So hopefully, he comes back bigger and better than ever. But I know they were, really just kind of getting in the groove with him and really wanted to go ahead and roll the dice with him to be the quarterback this year and go ahead and get his feet wet as a young freshman, and he was playing well. So we'll see how Wayne circles the wagons there with Coach J-Bo Shaw, but looks like they're going to have to do it with a new signal call.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's tough when you lose your trigger man there. So, like I said, we'll send well wishes to him. I hope he gets better and gets back next year because we know ACL is not a couple week thing there, Kevin. That's a lengthy recovery, but hopefully everything will be okay. But that's going to wrap it up for the previews for 9/23. Appreciate everybody watching On Air with 912 Sports. We'll be right back here after these messages.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Calling us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
This has been a presentation of 912 Sports.